So we should be live, but let me just make sure. It's delayed for a second here. So hold on one second.
I got live on my screen.
All right. Yeah, I think we're good to go here. So, all right. What is up, Ari? How's it going, brother?
Colton, it's always a pleasure to jump on here with you. I'm incredibly excited to get into some CPI,
I know
inflationary data.
you couldn't wait. You couldn't wait till 3:30. You're like,
I can
let's get
never
the
wait.
show on the road. Let's get the show on the road.
Let's do it, man. I'm moving. I'm buzzing. I got a lot of energy. It's been
All
a
right, so
great day.
first off, we'll give some people, it's going to take time for them rolling because I think I posted for 3:30 for us to kind of like kick off here. So we're definitely a little bit early, but my boy's pumped, so I tried to get to the computer as
We,
fast as I
we got to get
possibly could.
moving.
So listen, man, we got to talk about the FTX thing really quick, okay? So FTX is supposedly insolvent, which we've heard this story before, minus $6 billion. Now, what makes this one a little bit more interesting than the other kind of crypto exchanges that went under is this one actually has hedge funds invested, hedge funds named BlackRock, and I believe they have some pension exposure with teachers' pensions. So, dude, talk about a Lehman moment that could be at hand here.
I think it's in the works. I mean, look, yesterday, late afternoon, we saw the market come down. It was rattled. And at the end of the day, when my 2 cents on the cryptocurrencies and the crypto market is, I believe there is a future there. It's the future in some capacity. However, I will preface that right now in this moment, I do not believe that crypto holds much value at all. And so, I don't follow too much of the crypto news, but I was well aware of this yesterday and watching the market sink from it all. It is definitely a Lehman moment.
Yeah, this is the closest thing to a Lehman moment that we've seen so far in this type of downward movement. There's been a lot of questions. Are we in a recession? What's going to be the shoes that drop? And already, dude, we're starting to see the shoes that drop. And the crazy thing is here, Ari, I did a video like a while back on pensions, right? And how pensions are actually using leverage, and this
Colton, I think you froze up, man.
Are we back? We lost signal for a second.
We're back. I don't know if
Dude,
I lost signal or not. You just stopped talking.
no, listen. So I'm in Florida, and there is possible there's
There's a
obviously a
my
hurricane.
father
Yeah,
is also in Florida. There's another hurricane on the way, right?
yeah. So I'm wondering, like, the
Maybe I'll get
weather's
another
not bad right now. Like,
Delta Airlines investment.
yeah, that was a good one. So dude, I'm telling you, man, like this is the first shoe to drop, and what I'm curious about is how much others are going to drop here. We have tons of companies heavily leveraged. I think a Square, I think a Tesla, that crypto is a major asset on their balance sheets. Major asset on their balance sheets. Like what dude, this is going to disrupt and have ripple effects throughout, including pension plans. Dude, I'm telling you, the pension plans is one that I've been keeping an eye on. I thought the pension plan going into next year, we're going to see a lot of pensions possibly go bust because they're using leveraged stocks, using crypto, things like that. So
Look, I if I wanted to gamble, I would go to Vegas, and that's kind of how I look at the
I'm
crypto
going to
market.
Vegas in 2 weeks.
You're going on behalf of both of us. I'm not so much a gambling man in that capacity. And like I said, I think cryptocurrencies do have a future, and that future is not exactly close just yet. So, what I'd like to see is where the crypto market will be in about 10 years, 5 to 10 years. I think it will be interesting. A lot of people hyped crypto up as if it was gold, but at the end of the day, I'm not invested in gold, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm going to remain in equities, and tried and true with Warren Buffett and understanding that when you're invested in equities, you're getting true value from a company. And with crypto right now, it's a massive gamble. So, my hat's off to all of you who I guess have the stones to dive in and risk, but not for me.
Yeah, you're gonna have to watch the video I just dropped on FTX.
Yeah, I'm sure
I just dropped it like an hour and a half
you
ago.
and Tommy Nash.
Dude, you're literally gonna have to watch it. It's a pretty good one, man. It's so basically the Dutch tulips is what the comparison of what Bitcoin is, and so I did the whole run through of it, and it's entertaining to say the least.
We'll,
So
we'll drop
let's
we'll drop that link down there as well for your
yeah,
video.
yeah. Anybody that wants to watch that video, I'll leave the link here in a minute. Dude, so let's get to the CPI reading, man. Obviously, the market's starting to price in something here. Let me see what the put and call ratio is, but go ahead and give us what your thoughts are on the CPI reading.
Yeah, look, I mean, before we even touch CPI, I did a webinar earlier today, and what I got into was what CPI. I think CPI is the main event this week, like the mega event this week for investors to watch. However, I also think we have big news with elections, and that's
Yeah.
important to cover. Just an understanding that if we get a Republican sweep in the House and the Senate, it will most likely create a lot of gridlock, right? And that gridlock is going to be important for investors to gain certainty moving into the future. A little bit more of a breather from all the bills that could be rapidly passed with a Democratic sweep. So I'm a fan of the Republicans taking the House,
Well,
taking.
supposedly it's getting a lot closer than anticipated.
Yeah, I
That's the
thought it
last
honestly. I thought
that's
it
the
was going to
last
be.
I heard.
I do still believe that Republicans will prevail. Politics aside, I do believe that the Republicans will prevail, and I hope it's so because I think that gridlock needs to happen. It's necessary, and historically speaking, when there is gridlock in in Congress, right, between executive branch, Congress, the market actually performs better.
Yeah.
So I'm an investor, and that's what I'm hopeful for. Now, I mean, drum roll, please, because the CPI report coming out tomorrow is going to be huge. Economists have expected inflation coming in at 7.9%. Maybe a little bit more optimistic they are than I am, but I think it could come in around 8%, 8.1%. It wouldn't surprise me. Either which
Yeah.
way, this is key. This is key because come December 10th, we are flying through this year. Come December 10th, we're going to get another FOMC meeting and
Right.
another interest hike. And the big question is, I mean, we always talk about this. How aggressive is the Federal Reserve going to be? And I guess I'm going to kick the ball right over to you, and we'll hash out what we think interest rates will look like come to December.
I think, I think it's going to obviously they're going to be data dependent on the CPI reading that comes out here. And so just to give you kind of what I heard today, if the CPI reading comes in around 7.5, or basically below 8, we're going to see about a 1% move to the upside in the market. If it comes in at 6, high sixes, we're going to see roughly a 2.5 to 3% move into the market to the upside. So that's what's in it. That's supposedly what's priced in. Now, who really knows? I mean, it could honestly, the reading could come in low and the market could sell off. So I'm never taking that as like bankable, options here. But
Great.
just to kind of run through, for me personally, I think, I think the Feds are going to start loosening up here. I would highly doubt that we see another 75 hike before the end of the year because in the speech, he did say that these rate hikes were we have to see them come through the system and they are substantially high and substantially fast. So he did acknowledge that. What he did reiterate is that there will be hiking going into 2023. So I think what people are misinterpreting is that we're probably going to see a lot of 25 basis point hikes or possibly 50 basis point hikes to get us around that 5% mark, maybe 5.25, depending on how bad inflation is.
I think, if we see anywhere close to 8% inflation, especially above 8%, I think we have room on the table for another
Oh,
75 basis point rate hike. I can
I
easily
think I think I think I would agree with you on that. I think if we get an 8 reading, like I think I think we might even see an emergency hike, to be quite honest with you.
We could look.
Um,
I've been saying this for months, but and the good old saying, "You don't fight the Fed," right? But I've been saying this for months, and that the Federal Reserve gives us exactly what we need to know weeks and months before they do it.
yeah,
And I just think by Powell's sentiment and his remarks time and time again that we should expect him to be hawkish when inflation is stubbornly high.
yeah, yeah. No, I would agree. Now the question becomes though, Ari, do these Facebook layoffs, do these Google layoffs, do these Amazon, do these layoffs that are starting to come to fruition here, and this blow up in the FTX and the blow up in the crypto market is absolutely what we would consider wealth destruction, and that's what the Fed is trying to achieve. Is that enough? Like, think about this really quick. Like, over the last 48 hours, we've had crypto pretty much blow up, or a big portion of crypto pretty much blow up, where pensions, jobs are going to be lost. We got a company insolvent, and we know how that goes. So what'll happen is you'll have a 2 or 3 day quiet period, and then all of a sudden you'll get a letter saying that they're filing bankruptcy, and people won't be able to get their assets. Oh, by the way, they can't take out their assets right now. I don't know if you know that. FTX is not allowing people to withdraw. Sounds
Draw.
familiar from another story that we recently have had about crypto. So that's taking place. So is there, with this happening, like, is that enough wealth destruction to like sit back and say, holy crap, stuff's blowing up on its own. Maybe we don't need to do anything for a minute.
Stuff has been blowing up for the last 3 years, and we're
Dude, this
reactive.
is this, but I would say, I would argue and say this is the closest thing to a Lehman moment that we've seen in a long time. The other exchange was expected. Like, that was a penny stock. It was expected. This happened kind of out of nowhere. It happened very fast.
Second largest exchange was
Second
FTX.
largest exchange. You're talking about $15.6 billion turned into under $1 billion in the matter of hours. Like, dude, some serious stuff is taking place here. And I have to believe that the Feds are massive layoffs. Facebook is up because they're going to do a massive layoff, massive layoffs. And people think that's going to grow their margins.
Does it scare you? Or are you getting fidgety?
Not
Because
at
I'll tell
all.
you what I'm doing as an investor is I'm kicking back and I'm enjoying the show. I mean, I don't want to see anybody lose their job, but look, business is business at the end of the day. And I'm a firm believer that everything happens exactly the way that it needs to and in the right moment. So I think, you have companies that are continuing to, proceed with layoffs, and, we're moving in a different direction, right? To the beat of a different drum. And that has been changing for the last 3 years now. And I think that, strong management needs to do what they need to do in order to save business. I'm not too concerned. I am remaining cautiously optimistic, as a long-term investor, to just continue to double down on my strategy and, stay the course. So I like what I'm seeing. I like that the market's getting a little bit more emotional because when everybody else is emotional, I get to make some investments for my future.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I hope
There's
everybody
definitely
else is doing the
opportunities,
same.
definitely opportunities presenting themselves. Like, I texted you the other day about Amazon getting pretty juicy. I'm like, this is because
I bought.
I
I might buy, man. Don't test me. I might buy. I bought the last time.
you go live and buy. Listen, I bought my I brought my, once again, I bought my fiance. I bought my fiance Disney at $87 today, and she's crapping herself because she's like, "How did you know?" Like, this is, by the way, before she met me, she was buying Disney in like the 140s or whatever, and I'm like, I go, babe, Disney is like an $80 or $90 stock, like.
This is what
And
you guys argue about. This is some juicy stuff, man.
yeah, so I'm like, that's all she wants to buy is Disney. So so today I had her buy $87 at the $87 mark, and I was like, it's probably gonna go lower, but let's get you some cheapies.
The real question is how many arguments have you guys had about stock prices and valuations?
She doesn't really like go into it. She likes her companies, and then I do the math on them, and I'm like, I think this is where you need to be looking to buy them.
Okay.
But she spends so much money at Disney. It's like, why don't you own the stock? You know?
Yeah, yeah. Look, that's how I think about everything I own. I don't even buy anything at this point. It's just like I just own stocks of companies that, why buy Apple devices when I can own the stock?
Exactly. That's how you have to look at it. It's like if you really want something, maybe you should not buy it, but actually buy the stock, you know?
Own the company.
Speaking of which, we are getting a pretty good sell-off right now, which I'll pull up here in a minute. What time is it? Yeah, we still got a little bit of time before the way we got on here way early. But so listen to this one, okay? Tyson Foods. I really, really like Tyson
Is this the
Foods.
big question? Is this the
This
one of
is
the
I
questions?
might
Yeah.
be I'm like Tyson Foods is hitting an interesting point where I might be pretty darn close to buying here. So listen to this. Okay.
Okay.
Um, First off, I want to mention this. With global supply shortages impacting nearly every sector of the economy in the past 2 years, things are going to get worse. Uh, Ukraine's um, Ukraine's agriculture, roughly 22 million tons of grains are stranded in the country awaiting export. Obviously, Ukraine supplies 16% of the world's exports to more than 40% of the world's sunflower oil per UN Food and Agriculture Organization. We have food problems going on around the world, and Tyson is down 6% today. Okay. I don't see anything fundamentally. It did get discounted because people are saying that packaging is going to be a cost that they have going forward, which is whatever. But the bottom line is this thing is getting cheap when there's possible food shortages coming next year. And I'm looking at it like, can you ask for a better setup on a company?
I will say, a couple, what is it, the beginning of the year, a little bit before the beginning, I had a buddy of mine call me and say, I think that, based on the prices of wheat is going to be a phenomenal investment. Should I do it?
Yeah,
And, and I said, based on the thesis that you have, it sounds sound. So proceed. He asked me about ethics when it came to this particular investment, and nothing unethical about investing because there's a war going on, and it's neither here nor there. But look, the same deal with Tyson, right? I think you have to understand the global markets and what's happening on the macro and that macro picture to make wise investments. And again, it's very similar, right? Your thesis here is sound. I'm looking at Tyson right now, and it piqued my interest. To be honest with you, it's also a dividend paying stock,
yeah.
which is a nice bonus for me.
Well, you look at it, it's fallen from like what, 100 and something. It's at $63. I think it's going to get into the 50s, and that's about where I'm going to scoop it up. And that gets you a pretty decent sized dividend. This is a company that I think has a lot of safety built into it going into 2023, where we have a ton of question marks, right? We have a ton of question marks. But the one thing is, are people going to stop eating? No, they're not. So why wouldn't you own a company that gets disconnected on that, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Look, Tyson's going to be here. It's just that's the way that it is. It's an industry leader. It's going to be here. It does. It looks like when I look at the 5 to 10 year graph, it does show like you know. Let's see back here. Actually, oh sorry, I pulled up Delta wrong.
It's a lot of ups and downs on
I,
Delta.
I was already looking at Delta recently.
So, so Mikal here says no more chips going to be imported to China. Also, Apple, Google, Microsoft, etc., moving from China at the same time. Apple is currently building 2 or 3 fabrics in India instead. Another negative catalyst. And then on as far as man, I think about you today. Tyson CFO was arrested due to intoxication plus downgrade. That's exactly it, man. The fact that the CFO got arrested from intoxication does not change the business fundamentals, but yet the stock's down. It did get a downgrade because of packaging. I'm fine with that because I'll buy it in the 50s. And then when we go into 2023 and Tyson's exploding because there's global food shortages and they need to ship stuff out, that's when you cash in.
That's a shame. I was going to ask if you were going to put your money where your mouth is tonight on this live stream to buy some Tyson, man. I mean,
I
I'm
wouldn't
feeling
buy it.
pretty hungry.
So if you look, I think I got a price target around 58 or 59 bucks. And that's about, we're looking at another 6 or 7% down move in my opinion. I will buy it live if somehow it gets to that level
You will
tonight or
buy it
right.
live. You will
Dude,
buy it live.
I'll put my I got money in there. I'm ready to roll. Um
I
but
have
yeah,
I just moved today from one of my savings accounts into my Vanguard brokerage, another 5K just right in, and I'm waiting for something actually pretty catastrophic to come our way, hopefully soon. But guys, I just the next 6 months to 12 months, I think we're going to have a lot of exceptional investment opportunities. And
yeah.
that's what I'm really waiting for. Just have some cash on the sidelines for that. But I'm more than able and willing to dollar cost average into, a Tyson. Should it look appealing? Heck, if Colton's jumping in on it, I mean, I may
You
have
know,
to
you
follow
know, man, I would say right now, like the two stocks that I'm really looking at that I'm looking at that I think are really interesting. I read through Hanes brands and I'm a little disappointed with them, so I'm gonna wait on that. I do have some stock in Hanes, but nothing crazy. I was buying in this
Are
the
you,
high sixes.
are you a Haynes guy? Are you like Haynes
Um,
boxers? Yeah, or
No,
just the
no. Well, I mean, my socks are Hanes, right? My socks are
company?
Hanes. Yeah, some of my underwear might be Hanes, but I look at them and I just thought, defensively going into a possible recession, they're a company that should excel because it's a shop down, it's a move down, right? Like so, and those companies are getting hit right now because middle class is people are still shopping at the more expensive, extravagant names, but I think that'll eventually shift and their margins were I just breezed over it. Their margins are a little concerning, but still, when you compare to retail, their operating margins are 8.5%, where most retail is like 4 and 5. So they're still okay with their operating margins. I'm not pretty, but they're a 100-year-old company that I think can get through it. But the companies that I'm really starting to get interested in is I know it sounds stupid. It's Tyson Food. Tyson Foods to me is like I think that's just stupid. It's easy money. Like
Yeah.
I don't have to think if people are going to buy chicken at the grocery store in a recession. Like I don't have to think about it. Like what are we talking about?
Question is, how much money are you putting on the table?
I would probably buy 200 shares.
200 shares.
I
Man,
would
you,
buy
you
I
don't
would
give me
that would be
that.
my largest position going into. So the only stock I own right now is Gilead Science. I bought 120 shares at $62. It's at $83 over the last like 4 months. And that to me was undervalued and underappreciated. And I got it with a 4.4% yield, which was beating the 2-year treasury. So the reason why I liked the stock was I thought it was undervalued by Wall Street and I thought it was beating the two-year treasury. And I thought the balance sheet overall looked good. They had some interesting stuff in their pipeline, so I bought it. And I feel the same way about Tyson, where if it gets to that 50, in that mid 50 range, it's like you're getting a really good yield on as far as the dividend goes. You also have some serious safety built in the fact that a lot of question marks going into 2023. But the one thing I wouldn't be concerned about is if people are going grocery shopping.
Now, here's a question for you. Would you rather go Tyson or play like Google? Because I mean, we only see like Google coming down at its current valuations, right? Rarely. And
Mm-hmm.
so I feel like you might get a Tyson situation more frequently than you would a Google situation. What are your thoughts on that?
So I do like Google. I don't want to scare you. I know you're a big Google guy. No, I know you're
What
not
do
going
you
to get scared.
got? What do you
I'm
got?
just,
Insider
I'm just,
information
I'm
I
just
don't
kidding.
have?
But so let me ask you. Let me ask. I'll start asking you a question first. Okay. We go through a correction. In 2023, we're in a recession. Is it more realistic that Tyson Foods, if you buy it at 50, goes back to 100 in a recession and you have over a 4% dividend versus Google, where you might buy it in 80? Where does it go in 2023 if we're in a recession? So that's how I'm looking at it.
I keep buying. I mean, for me,
No,
eventually
I know what you're saying, but does that make sense? Like, I think
it
there's a
makes
higher probability that Tyson Foods trading at a 5 PE ratio gets to an 8 or 9 PE ratio versus Google. I buy it at 80 at a 16 PE ratio, gets to what, maybe a 20 PE ratio. And then I made, 25% rather than I had an opportunity to make 60 or 70% plus a 4.5% yield. So like, that's kind of how I'm looking at it. Probably, I don't know if that's the right way to look at it. But I
I guess
just think
it
there's,
depends on your investment timeline you're looking at, because realistically, how long would you hold this position?
so right now I'm in, that would be a shorter term. I'm looking
Shorter.
at 12 to 18 months. So my goal right now is preservation of capital. So I want to preserve my capital, whether that's just being in cash, like I'm mainly in cash. I want to preserve my capital until I absolutely think that this is a generational buying opportunity. What I think has happened right now is that investors think that this is a crash, and I think that this is just pricing in the cost of doing business right now and a slowing down consumer. I don't necessarily think this is priced in recession. I think once we get to 3,000, recession's getting priced in at that point. And that's when I'm like, okay, the Googles, the Amazons, those companies is when the S&P gets to those levels, I'm really, really interested. But when we think about this, right, it's the Tyson play to me is very similar to the oil play that happened over the last year, right? We talk about November when the Fed started hiking rates and inflation was nuts. Who benefited from that? It was the oil companies. So, the energy companies benefited over the last 18 months. My mindset is if we go into recession, who's going to benefit? And I think it's going to be the necessities of life. I think it's going to be the Tyson Foods. I think it's going to be Coca-Cola once again. It's probably going to hit new Procter and Gamble. These companies, I think, are probably going to reapproach their 52-week highs while the market underperforms. Now, guys, this is not financial advice. I'm kind of speculating here, but I would say when you look at Tyson's valuation, it's a buy today. Like, in my opinion, you can argue that this company is a buy today.
Put your money where your mouth is. It is a
Hey, man,
buy. It is a buy today.
I'm soaking every cent out of this thing.
It is a buy right now.
No, I'll tell you why I won't buy right now, too. They have earnings on the 17th, and I do want to see their earnings just to see margin compression. But also, Ari, dude, CPI tomorrow. Why am I going to buy right before the CPI reading?
But you don't need to. Yeah, I'm not buying
Come on,
anything.
man. What am I doing here?
I've been relaxing for the last week, anticipating CPI and waiting for this very live stream. this is what
I give you credit. Like, it's so funny. Like, you're always on top of, like, you're very data driven, and it's like a lot of investors that I follow on YouTube. Not that I follow any, but if I do catch a YouTube clip on somebody, or I do do come across somebody's channel, it's never data driven. It's never like it's just a guess. Like, oh yeah, this stock looks cheap, let's buy it. Like I did Cloudflare. I did a video on Cloudflare, and you would think that the stock.
I commented on this one earlier, right?
Yeah, I think you said Tom Nash or something
Tom
like
Nash.
that. Yeah, yeah. But like
I
honestly thought it would probably be a buy at these levels because it's down like 84%, or it's down something stupid, bro. And I'm like, it's probably a buy at these levels. And I ran my numbers, and I'm like, man, it's sitting at $37. I'm like, to me, it's a $15 stock. Mind you, Ari, this was like, I think, a $200 stock.
Yeah. What like, even it? This to me reminded me of a Tom Nash type of, stock pick and announcement, if you will. I said, oh man, he went to the dark side.
Well, so, I mean, we talked before we came on here, and the people that get rewarded are the people that talk about possible 10x stocks and the stocks that everybody's searching for. And it's not necessarily the most sound financial advice, but unfortunately it gets the views and it gets the subscriptions. Like, if you really think about the amount of advice given and the amount of money that these people have lost possible viewership, and the fact that these people still get the amount of views and subscriptions, to me is just like, it makes me want to just friggin' sell out and be like, oh, let's go all in on Palantir. Like if I buy $10,000 worth of Palantir right now, everybody would be, thrilled. And I think I think at these levels, it is kind of pretty darn close to a buy. I got about a $6.50 to $7 price target. So, but that's really not a company.
Side, man.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, I spend so much time analyzing stocks and taking my time and really like, and for what? Like sometimes I'm like, for what? Like I'm doing it for myself anyway. So regardless, I would do it. but it's just like sometimes it just gets a little frustrating.
Well, look, I was on this webinar earlier today, and it's pretty for me. It's very. I would rather have a smaller scale channel, right? I've never actually worked on my channel, like just my channel, like that. Let this be 100% of my focus, which that may shift very soon. But I bring that up because for me, what matters is talking about the macro environment and then zooming into what stocks, are going to perform over the long span of time. Obviously, I'm a value and dividend investor, so I'm going to be invested for quite some time. And, when I go from channel to channel and I'm seeing the Palantirs and the meme stocks and things that may be sexy and exciting, and I listen to a lot of these people on the webinar and the questions that they're asking, and they've been misled. That to me is the saddest part of hosting the webinars that I'm able to host, because when you're out there, I mean, we have an obligation. If you're going to start a YouTube channel, if you're going to be out in the public forum at all, kind of beating your chest and saying, these are the investments, buy now. I get to do one-on-one sessions and sit with people, and you have too, I'm sure, in your past, about their financial like career, right? Like what
Yeah,
they've been doing, their financial track record. And it's devastating to learn why people made certain investment decisions based off of someone out there giving misconstrued wrong investment advice. Not that this in and of itself is financial advice, right? Entertainment
right.
purposes. But let's be honest, when you go onto YouTube, whether something is entertainment purposes or not, someone's on that other end of the screen taking what you're saying seriously.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I take it to a level of like, hey, first off, this is what I'm interested in. This is not financial advice, but this is how I break down a stock. Like, my goal is to teach you how to fish, not feed you, right? Like, that's my goal. Like, when I make a video, I try to show people like, what are the pairs trading for? How do you get a price target? What's your valuation on the stock? Like last night, we went live and we did a Disney valuation. Guess where my valuation came out at? Came out at $80 a share. That's what I would
Was
pay for Disney. And guess what, Ari? That's the high end. Like literally, it's between $70 and $80. And personally, if it wasn't for my fiance, I would be leaning closer to the mid 70s to low 70s.
I was gonna say, was she on the live stream with you?
Oh, she
Or
would
were you
kill
guys?
me. She would kill me. But then she was like the next morning, then this morning I told her, I'm like, hey, just a heads up, Disney's at $89 or something. She's no, it's not. No, it's not. So I have to put on
What
CNNBC and show her.
what is going on in your household, man? I
I'm trying to
mean,
teach her, man. I'm trying to teach her. Like, like it's about like that's what I want people to say, like,
I just
man,
I, I just want to be a fly in the room with you
it's
guys.
not that
Like,
exciting, I promise. It's really not. But
just don't
I
get
can be a,
divorced
I can be a
over a
jerk
stock
sometimes.
price, you know?
I can definitely be a jerk sometimes. So there is that. She deals with me. I
It's
got the
just a
better
stock
end of this
price,
one.
man. You know?
I definitely got the better end of this one. So um no, but she's definitely like we've been dating for, 2 years, and it's like we're coming up on 2 years, actually November. And
Imagine.
it's
It's amazing.
thank you, man. Yeah. So and we get married December. So the thing is
I
like
got
it
I
was
got my one meta stock that's on the ready for you guys.
oh yeah. Actually, Meta bounced pretty hard today, but it was due for that after falling from
Yeah.
$400 a share. But so like with her, it was funny. Like the first thing I taught her, bro, the first thing I taught her was index funds, index funds, index funds. That was it. I didn't mention individual stocks when we first met. I'm like, listen, you don't need a so guys, I just want to take a step back, Ari, and just like
Day
get
one.
since day one, man. Like so I was in financial services, studied for the 6, studied for the 7, licensed in the 6, studied for the 65, got my 215 license as well, and was in financial services for over 5.5 years and hated my life. Okay. Why did I hate my life? Because it's a sales job. It truly is a sales job. And it's a sales job where you actually have to go out there, pound the ground. If you don't have a natural network that have high net worth individuals, you have to bang the phones. You have to go meet people. You have to go. And unfortunately, I don't come from money. So I had to go do all that stuff. And I built a great book of business, and I was one of the top advisors in Tampa. And I hated my life because of it was just exhausting. And I was questioning, was I doing the right thing at the end of some meetings? Like, did I do the right thing for the individual across the table, or did I do what I had to do to pay my bills? And that's where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore, because that is a hard pill to swallow. And so I decided to create this channel and just be like, this is what it is, guys. If anybody here wants to know the secret and not need an advisor, this is what it is. Okay. Have an oh shit account first and foremost. Okay. 20%, like at least 20% of your annual income. You want 3 to 4 months of savings put aside. Okay. First and foremost. Second, buy a low cost index fund, dollar cost average, and don't look at the market. Third, buy term insurance if you have somebody depending on your income. And guess what, guys? You don't need an advisor. That's
You
it.
heard it here first.
That's it. That's all it
No,
is.
look, it's true, man. The market, the way that it is today, and in terms of being on the street, Wall Street, right? It's that they want to make it so seemingly complex. The reality is, it's incredibly. I'll retire on my Disney stock.
Guess who that is?
Is that the lovely lady?
That's the wifey. The wifey's in the chat room.
I love you two so much. I mean, this is beautiful.
I didn't know she was in the chat room. She's in here listening.
Well, this is amazing.
So
No, look,
her next purchase, though, because she's got enough Disney, her next purchase is VOO once we get to that 3,000 level on the S&P.
good. Look, this is honestly, I built my, I built my retirement accounts off of VTI and VTSAX. They're basically the same fund. So for all intents and purposes, VTI. And that's my foundation within my portfolio. And anything there after that became, well, it's VTI. And then I have Apple. And then from there, I start building into dividend stocks. So, I wouldn't change a single thing from how I started off.
Yeah. Appreciate it, Dynasty. CPI reading. So what is your overall take on CPI? You think we're coming in light, or you think we're coming in hot? Coming in hot.
I think we're coming in hot. I think.
Do you really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, I do. 7.9%. I'm looking. I think we're going to hit 8%, maybe 8.1 headline inflation. Now, I'm and I want to use the word, instead of bullish or bearish here, hawkish on the Federal Reserve's stance on how they're going to proceed. I just don't foresee the situation really cooling down anytime soon.
Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, if we don't get a reading below 8, I have some serious concerns. Like, I'm not even, dude, like straight face, like, dude, I'm talking if we're at 8%, right? We're talking about stagflation. There's no way around it. You're talking about stagflation. And for me, Ari, that reeks of depression, because what that's telling us is that the feds have no control over what's going to happen here. And you're talking about, what people don't understand is inflation is an invisible tax, right? It's an invisible tax. It's taking 8% away from you every year, which for some people right now does not sound like a lot. But let me ask you a question. The reason why we have tax incentives is to make sure that the lower income people can still pay their bills and still get by, and they haven't, and they can live off of the check that they have. Take that 8% out of that person, and we're looking at depression.
Yeah, look, I think they've been feeling that pinch for a long while now. And I honestly think our environment right now is really impacting lower classes exponentially more so than middle and wealthier classes. And I just think you got to always think about the class that you're in. Are you impacted or you're not? But who is? And 8% is a massive chunk of change. for a lot of Americans. But I also think, the timing is everything as well. And that's why I like to take out a lot of the news headlines and, clickbaity headlines that are out there, because there's a lot of mixed messaging, right? That's especially now around election time. You just got to be very careful with what you're reading and whom you're following, whether it's investment advice, right? Or, political advice, advisor, whatever it may be. Be careful when it comes down to who you're following.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, are they doing it for the views, or are they doing it because it's good information? And that's what I battle every day that I sit down and I draft a video. I'm not bull crapping you, dude. Like, I sit down and I'm like, okay, do I make a video on Tattooed Chef because I know like that's what blew up my channel and there's probably still a lot of people out there that are really interested? Or do I make a video on Tyson Food that's going to get me 70 views versus 1,200 views or 2,000 views? So, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it makes me so sick that I've thought about deleting this channel and restarting a new channel.
Look, you keep on the path that you're going. I mean, quality over quantity. I've when it comes to my channel, again, I haven't spent 100% of my time on my channel. It kind of just was for fun, and then it kind of got going, and one thing to the next. And now I'm going to put a bigger emphasis on my personal channel soon, and quality over quantity, right? Like, it pays to be patient. And so keep doing exactly what you're doing, because at the end of the day, when I watch your videos, I'm watching your videos because there's actually insightful tidbits of knowledge that I'm taking away from it.
No, I
And that's
appreciate that.
what someone who's out there has to understand, is like, who are you following? Are you going for the guy who's gambling day in, day out financial education? Right?
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
watched a video earlier today of financial education. Of course, his title was like, sell everything now, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
and then you watch it and he's talking about the same things we're talking about, CPI and elections, but it's all about the sale instead of the value of what you can deliver to people. And so I think, we have certain channels out there on YouTube who are very much aligned with, how we're serving information to those who are consuming it,
Yeah.
and staying on the, edge of delivering insightful information that's going to be beneficial and helpful to those who are really looking to understand their investments.
Yeah. And I think what the other thing is the economic backdrop that supports their investments, right? We're talking about high inflation, we're talking about a Fed that's raising rates. So we're talking about a lot of things that are economically going to impact stocks differently, right? And that's why I've been really shifting on my channel to healthcare, consumer staples, utilities, and energy, because I think those are, first off, that's what's holding up the stock market. Second off, if you get cheap stocks in those sectors that have high quality balance sheets, they're probably a great buy for the next 18 plus months.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely. I mean,
you know
look,
what I
I've
mean?
said this so many times. When you're looking at a company to invest in, especially during this environment, what you need to be sure of, in my opinion, is that that investment, that company, has very strong leadership, very well capitalized, clean balance sheet, and most importantly, is a very strong brand name. Like, I want all the companies in my portfolio to be the companies that when somebody walks into a store, Procter and Gamble items, right? Apple. These are the big names that I want to have, whether we're in recession, not in recession, volatility, no volatility. They're money makers. They're
Yeah.
consistently money makers, and I get to sleep at night. That's what I want. I want peace.
Yeah. No, I think the one thing I really enjoy about your channel, and I think we do a great job of supporting each other, is how you pick stocks that actually have moats. They're usually the leader in their industry. They usually have a very long track record, and obviously the balance sheets are pretty clean. You have no questions about them. Can they dip 25 or 30% like every other stock? Absolutely. But the recovery on them is going to be there. And when the crap hits the fan, they've already weathered these storms in and out. And like you said, management already has the blueprints on what we're dealing with right now, right? So it's like you do a great job of kind of going through the history and really breaking down yeah, I really think we should do a video together on
I
companies.
mean, we're doing it right now.
No, no, no. Here's what I'm talking about, right? Because I think I think I'm good at getting a fair market value, and I think you're really good at explaining the company, the history, and picking out like really solid blue chip companies where I could do the analysis on the companies that you're picking out and give by like a price target that I would put on it. We could do a collaboration video. I actually think that would be an interesting video.
Why don't we do it? I mean, I'm always for it. I'm always for it, and as long as it's helpful to those viewers who are out there, that's what matters to me. So, it kind of reminds me of an Everything Money channel type of deal.
Yeah. No, we could do something like that. I wonder if we could, dude, maybe you need to move to Tampa.
I'm not moving to Tampa. You're
So
getting hit with a hurricane right now.
dude, listen, man, you live in paradise, you got to deal with a couple storms. Ain't no
Yeah,
problem with that, brother. And
that's
normally
your
when
roof
we
is flying off. Yeah.
nah, it's the norm. What I normally do, man, is like I normally go out of town and get an Airbnb for like 4 or 5 days. I work remote, so it's easier for me to do that. So we go out of town and we don't, dude. If the house, we got insurance. If the house, as long as we're healthy, that's all that matters. But we live in paradise, dude. We live right on the water. Like I can go walk right now a mile and be at 14 different restaurants on the water, like in one of the nicest beaches in the world. So I'm not trying to sell you, but I'm kind of selling you.
Tell me Tampa.
No, I live on the coast. I live in St. Petersburg. We just attach ourselves to Tampa. But
Yeah, yeah.
just because the reason why I brought up the whole we should collaborate on a
Yeah,
video where
I
you
don't
pick
know what I should buy, Tampa or Tyson. Like I,
right now, Tampa's too expensive. Buy Tyson.
go
Dude,
Tyson.
Tampa over the last year when we went through this housing boom, I think Tampa was the fastest as far as expenses go for cost of living. Was
Did
Tampa
it
was number
outbeat Miami? It outbeat
I
Miami.
I think so, dude. Yeah, because Miami was already expensive, but
I
like
see.
Tampa like tripled in the price. I'll give you an example. My buddy bought a house here like a year ago when I was working at the firm, or maybe 2 years, roughly 2 years ago. I bought a house for like 220,000. Okay, 220,000. 9 months later, sold it for 375.
Over 3. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah. And dude, like he told me, he's like, I can't even believe I sold it because like I think the floor is gonna fall through. Like, I'm like, bro, whew, good for
And
you. He moved out to Colorado.
I thought you were going to say California.
No, I
That's an
mean he
interesting
cashed in.
state.
He put like 200 grand in his bank account. Him and his wife are just working jobs and like living out cheap, and they got tons of cash in their savings account. They're just kind of living
Well, I
life.
mean, look, you know my plan. I mean, I want to travel, and that's why my channel will start to come along a little bit more now with some more growth and strategy and growing that channel, so I can go out there and travel. I'd rather travel than be stuck in Tampa, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we do a lot of traveling.
Just,
I've been this year. Like we'll
this
get
is
back
like
onto
it's
the
a
market.
beautiful sell. You're like, yeah, we do a lot of traveling in Tampa, and when we
Listen. We've been this year. This year, I've been to Vegas twice. Been to Mexico. Been to Georgia. Been to Philadelphia. To go see Elton John.
we did a live stream. That's when we did one of the live streams.
I think
I think
so.
one of the weekend of Elton John.
Possibly. I saw him twice.
Man,
Um, I saw him twice this year.
I'm talking about global travel.
We're
That's.
going to Italy. We're going to Italy for our honeymoon.
Can I come? Is that you guys got root like?
I mean, dude,
I won't say anything about Disney.
yeah. Yeah, don't talk bad about Disney. Oh, dude, I went to California too. I went to California because she took me to Disneyland. I've never been.
Oh wow, wow,
Yeah.
what a
You know how
sweetheart!
many shares of Disney we could have bought though?
I-
All right, let's
You're
get back to the
okay.
market here. I got to talk about Medtronics really quick. This is one of your stocks, bro. And
I'm gonna share this. I'm gonna be very clear about this. Now, I'm an investor, a shareholder in Medtronic. I liked Medtronic. And now I actually am going to be trimming my portfolio down more, and I'm
On
going to focus
Medtronic?
really. It may fall out of the portfolio.
Why?
It's a great company. It's exceptional, but I got a soft spot for J&J, and I'm trying to grow my J&J position to over 100 shares. And I think I'm just gonna to run with J&J. Maybe I'll come back to Medtronic. I'm not selling
Listen,
just yet. I'll put out a video when I do it.
I'm
But
pretty sure I have it saved. I'm gonna pull it up. I got a price target on your Medtronics, dude, because I actually like it. I
he's
actually
going.
like it.
I remember when I first mentioned it on this channel.
I think I said 70 something, and I don't have it saved. I have to go back to the video and watch it. But they reported earnings. I'd have to readjust. But they were one that I thought in the 70s was really a solid buy. And it's at 70 right now. It's at 79.63. Um,
Look, it is a phenomenal company. It's not. I'm not selling out of the position because, it's a bad investment anyway. I'm selling out of the position because I'm getting really focused on 10 to 12 positions, and I'm taking really more of a Bill Ackman approach. Now in 2020, I made a mistake in spreading myself a little bit too thin across different industries and positions, and it was fun, but it's time to get serious here and trim my portfolio down. I'm really looking at any given time. There's really only ever, 5 exceptional investments in my opinion. And so even to have 10, um, I at least like to have 10 to 12, but running with the notion that there's only ever really 5, like 2 to 5 solid investments, that
yeah.
means the next 5 that come there after that average, right? So
Do you want my opinion? How many stocks do you own right now?
I am up. I added Amazon and Google. I added a few in the past
Like
month or so.
how many total stocks do you own?
I think it's 29 right now.
Okay. Do you consider yourself like be realistic? Do you consider yourself do you consider yourself an active investor or you're a passive investor
I mean,
though?
I'm a passive investor. Yeah.
So you really are going to have to change your philosophy if this is true. Because to be honest with you, like only holding 10 positions means that you have to be active. You have to be reading the quarterly reports. You have to be making sure that they stay on top of things because once valuations start changing, like a J&J, right? Like what do they trade? Can you pull it up? What are they trading for?
I think they're at 170 something, if I'm not mistaken.
Like
I haven't been looking at J&J. It's too pricey right now.
yeah.
But
So
let's see what they're at.
I would recommend this, Ari. And now, obviously, take it for what it's worth.
173.
I mean, yeah, I mean,
173.
it's a slow, steady. It's a slow, steady stock. I would recommend this. I think you're a good investor. I would recommend you actually putting 5% in positions. So I would recommend you holding 20, and when they grow to an extent where it's taking up 10 or 15% of your portfolio, you can rebalance it. But I feel like you need to own at least 11 stocks or 12 stocks. You need to own at least one stock in every sector, right?
No, look, at the end of the day, it will be. I'll have 10 to 12 positions that are going to be. I'm going to get really focused in building. My take now is, hey, look, I want to build foundations within these companies, and I'll build back up. None of my investments, as you could probably guess, are investments that are anything too crazy. And, nothing's really out. I mean, it's Medtronic, right? We're talking about selling Medtronic.
Yeah, it's not anything. It's not like
I
some
just
growth stock down 70% here.
Yeah, I have a beautiful portfolio. I'm not in a rush to sell anything. And a matter of fact, that the sales would actually be within an IRA. So, I'm very, very cautious in how I've been investing and, making sure that when and if I needed to sell, I can do that, maneuver out of these positions. But either which way, look, I'm a fan of Bill Ackman's approach. And I'll, once I hit targets of my share counts for each of these positions, I will continue to then build back up to 20 positions and 30. But I think for the meantime, I mean, and it's taken me a while to trim, to be honest, because obviously the market is the way that it is. I'm not selling anything in red. Sips of water.
You're gonna build back better. Build back better.
Build back better plan. That is what we're talking about.
Um, yeah, I like the approach of concentration. Yeah, I think, Mikhail says, what 10, 12 stocks do you want to own? Like if you could pick your top 12 stocks right now, what would they be? It's a
Mikhail,
great
that's how
question.
you got to invite you to my channel, man. You know, it's
I
look,
know, I know, I know. I already know most of them. I know it's J&J. I know it's Google. I know it's Apple. Um, Stag.
Stag is in there. Realty income
Oh,
is a huge, you know, 100 and I have 105 shares worth of Stag. And I'm sorry, Realty income. I'm building up Stag right now. Amazon is a big one that just was thrown into my portfolio. Google's now in there. I bought a lot of Stanley Black and Decker. That is just a nice buy and hold for me until that one rebounds. Apple is a major player in my portfolio, about 20% of my portfolio.
that's a big chunk. Y-
Coca-Cola's in there. I mean, look, these stocks, it's nothing crazy. I don't own anything too crazy, and I'm just
we got to get you some Palantir in there.
I want to partner with Tom Nash before I before I do that one. I
I
want to ask
mean,
him for his investment advice.
as long as it gets the views, I guess that's all that matters, right? No, that's a good question. So you just spilled out about what, 9, 8 or 9?
Yeah,
So give us two more that you would like to build a portfolio around.
this is really. I mean, I gotta
Are you
invite people.
Googling right now, dude? Are you Googling? I
No,
just
I'm
closed out
pulling up
my
my
account. I had my whole watch list up here. I could have like
That's what I'm saying.
broken.
I gotta look at, you know, it's like on the spot, name all your stocks. I'm like, what do I got in there?
No, he's saying I think what Mikhal's saying is if you had to rebuild a portfolio right now, right? And
hmm.
you could pick those stocks that you're looking at to basically concentrate in, what stocks would they be?
Now, am I picking those stocks at right buying prices or
I
like,
mean, would you
is that
consider this right? I would consider this pretty darn close to right buying. Maybe we got another 20 or 30% down, but man, I don't know.
let's put it that all havoc breaks loose and we get another March of 2020. All these stocks are down. I mean, of course, Amazon, Google. I would certainly continue to be invested with Stanley Black and Deckard. Lockheed Martin is in there for me. Stag
Lockheed
really
Martin's
income.
such a nice steady Eddie like J&J.
I had a beautiful. I think I told you about this one, but I had a few $1,000s with Boeing, and that was just before the pandemic when Boeing, you know, when 747s were falling out of the sky, and their stock share price plummeted. Now
Went
I
to like
picked it up.
$90. What was the low on it? It was like 90, right? Or less
Oh,
than that. I think it
almost.
was less than that.
I made a ton back with Boeing, and I took everything from Boeing and I put it into Lockheed. Boeing looks like it came down to let's see, $95 a share. I think I
Yeah.
invested around 100.
Yeah.
Um,
That's a good cost basis.
and then I made my return and I put money right into Lockheed Martin. I mean, that was an exceptional play. I am actually, I will say this, I have another one similar to Medtronic that's in my portfolio right now. I'm going to soon be selling out of the position. It's Omnicom.
What is it?
Omnicom.
Omnicom.
It's advertising and marketing. They're one of the industry
Oh,
leaders.
okay. Yeah.
Now I bought in 2020 because it fell, and obviously everybody ever needs marketing and advertising, and it went right back up. So I can sell it now and feel good about my return.
Would you
But
buy Baba? Would you buy Baba?
now, well,
Yeah.
first of all, I'm more of a JD.com guy, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But I think Alibaba and JD.com are pretty similar plays. I would play the Chinese market. I wish I did a couple weeks ago, to be honest, when it dipped on their election day,
Yeah.
when President Xi was reelected. Who knows if that was a real even election? But
Nobody knows.
nobody knows.
I
Uh,
don't even know if our elections are real anymore, so I can't really say anything.
we're gonna build back better. I'll tell you that. That's what we're doing.
Oh man, I friggin' hope so because if we get 8% inflation, I'm going to Canada, bro. I'm going somewhere else.
Man, did you see Trump's? So Trump came out and announced that he was gonna essentially run in 2024, and he has, what stock is it that his company is now
The
public? It's
W
AM.
DAC DWAC
Yeah,
DWAC I
yeah.
think it is.
That stock soared the other day. I mean, it was nuts. And we had published an article, and the article got, within like, I think like 10 minutes, over 50,000 reads, views on this article. It was nuts. Um, but look, I might honestly just start talking about Trump and just get viewership.
I mean, dude, you talk about Trump in the stock, like throw a Trump with some fire behind him, and then the stocks
That's it.
DWAC
That's all
on
you need
there.
to do.
Dude, that's what you got to do. I mean, got to get the clicks.
I'll
So
listen. Bank of America. I want to keep Bank of America, Starbucks, Darden restaurants. I mean, this is what my portfolio looks
if
like now.
if Starbucks got cheap, I would definitely be interested in Starbucks. I really kicked myself in the butt for not buying when it hit in the 60s. I don't. That was stupid of me. That was one
I got it at in the low 70s.
that was
Starbucks.
stupid of me. Yeah.
See, that's what I get worried. For me, okay, if I have a Tyson Foods situation, I would just say, it's all right to dollar cost average in at this point.
Yeah. No, I would agree. But
I just don't want you to miss opportunity.
No, I know, but I think with CPI, my when I look at further outlook here, it's not pretty. So I'm not in a rush. Like
Right.
I wouldn't be completely shocked if Starbucks went back down in the 60s again. Like I think we're in for some tough sledding here. And if you're thinking there's 8% inflation, then I like literally I'm not saying you're right or wrong, but I'm like, I feel like there's definitely still you obviously think there's some serious stuff. I think there is. Like, what's the rush? Because we haven't hit the new lows, if that's the case, in my opinion.
Yeah, I look, the interest rate environment is, I think interest rates could peak around 5%. And I think we're
We
going to
got
see,
mortgage rates at 7.5, I think, or something crazy.
yeah,
I mean,
over 7.
who the heck is going to buy a house at 7% interest rate?
That's why I'm not coming to Tampa right now.
Well, I mean, I got an extra room, dude.
In due time. All right. I will make a visit. I will make a visit to Florida in due time, and you will be on the list.
Actually, I got the room Airbnb'd right now.
Oh, there he is. The financial advisor, remaining financially fit.
I got an Airbnb'd, own entrance, little refrigerator, little microwave action, nice TV. It's all good.
How is the profits from it?
They take I think they take 25%. They take a good chunk, man. And Airbnb is actually a company I'm very, very interested in investing in.
I feel like we talk about Airbnb a lot. It makes sense to invest into it.
I really do like it. I really do like it. I think they got a serious.
Are you gonna buy? I like to put pressure on you. I want to see you buying now on these live streams. Let's make it. Don't go to Vegas. Just come on a live stream.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I could. I mean, so right now, I don't think it's a buy. I don't think it's a buy right now. So do you see that yellow tag there? This right here.
Where's your cursor?
Right there.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. That's been there for 8-9 months. That's my price target on Airbnb.
Hey man, I just want to be on a live stream when you're buying. I mean,
hey man, I mean,
there's a couple times I want to be on a live stream. I want to be on a live stream when you're buying, and I want to be on a live stream with you and your fiance when you're talking about Disney stocks.
So here's what I'll do. Here's what I'll do. If we start getting price targets hit, like if I'll text you and I'll be like, get to your computer, we're going live, and I'll start buying.
Yeah, look, I'm a pretty straight shooter, and I will put my money where my mouth is,
Oh, we
So
witnessed that. We witnessed
I,
that.
I did. I bought live last time, and I'll do it again, man.
Don't do it before the CPI.
I'm
Listen,
not
all
doing
right, you sound suicidal right now because you're like, oh yeah, the CPI reading is going to be 8%. Hold on, let me buy some stocks the day before we get an 8% reading.
it.
Like, what are you doing over there, dude?
I'm getting antsy, man.
I'm
Look,
telling
I'm
you,
rich.
telling you. And
I'm
like,
rich.
you
I'm
sound like
rich
a
in the
you,
heart, man.
you sound like a 10x investor who can't wait to jump in at the highest prices. Listen, Ari's thesis is an 8% inflation reading, but yet he wants to dump some money in the
I
market right
I
now.
know, man. I come from sales, and the excitement is real.
I'm looking at my list and I'm seeing if
Fun,
there's
man.
anything
It's
I'd
fun
buy
to
live
buy.
right now.
What's that?
I'm looking at my list and I'm seeing if there's anything I'd buy live right now.
I wouldn't buy anything right now.
No, I mean I'm not going to because I'm not suicidal like you, but
I mean, it's crazy, really, to see though. I mean, Google. When I look at Google right now, P 16.79. Google's at $87 a share. Amazon's down at 86. I mean, this is nuts. But based on the fact that I do foresee some more volatility coming our way with CPI, these numbers could come down, man.
yeah, I mean,
Maybe we're
the
live at the wrong time. I just want some excitement. I'm living
I
for
mean
the thrill.
your time horizon really doesn't it's so long it really doesn't impact kind of
10,
at these
15, 20
levels.
years.
You're talking, you're talking even if you bought 30% above market value in 15, 20 years, you at least would have probably more than a return that it was expected, at the buying at these levels.
Someone said in the comments that you had it up before, Apple at 130. I would love to see it hit 130.
Hey,
Um,
Ari, we've had this conversation, didn't we?
we did.
You were
What
about
did, what
ready to
did I
shut me down.
say?
You were about ready to shut me down.
What did I say? What did I say about
You
Apple
don't
at
remember, do
130?
you?
I said I would
I was
buy
like,
it.
I said I'll buy Apple below 120. And guess what? I'm gonna bring my watch list over here, guys, that I have. And you said there's no way in hell it's getting below
It's
120.
getting to 120. It's at 134.
I it's at 134, and I said I would buy it below 120.
Can you zoom in there?
I can't. I don't.
Or it's not on the. You can't do it on the live stream.
Yeah, I
There
can,
it
but
is.
there we go. Okay. I got Microsoft at 218. That's almost a buy for me, but I haven't rerun the numbers on anything. I got Apple at a buy target at 113. Said I would buy it if it broke below 120. Google I got at 84 bucks. Meta I got 77. Amazon 80. Amazon's pretty much a buy. IBM at 110.
Amazon is Amazon's there, man. I mean, it's at your price target.
I know. I know. Amazon's
Buy
pretty.
it, buy it, buy it live.
All right. No,
Is he buying
no,
live?
we gotta wait. Let me wait until CPI. Okay, here's what'll happen. If CPI is, are you gonna be around tomorrow? Because maybe tomorrow I'll do a live stream and buy live.
If I'll be around. If you're gonna do some live buying, I will do some live buying.
Okay, so
This is after CPI is out and the market is digesting it.
yes,
I will
are
do
you gonna
live buying.
are you gonna be are you gonna be able to get on a computer if I go live at like right when no CPI comes out at 8:30, so market digest it. So like around noon, can you get to a computer?
Noon your time.
Noon my time.
I maybe an hour or so after that.
Yeah. So
But the market should honestly, it's going to take some time, like you said, to digest. I don't think.
sometimes the problem is, Ari, sometimes it takes a full day because what'll happen is the market could rally for no friggin' reason, and then the next day we get a 4 or 5% dip.
Yeah, well, then we
That's
get hit
happened
with
a few times.
the new. Yeah, it has. And but look, no, if the market is bloody tomorrow, I mean, I just put 5 grand into my brokerage account because CPI day.
Yeah.
So I
And
got, and that's just some of the capital, right? Like I got more money that's going to come in as I foresee more volatility.
yeah, you're ready to pull the trigger on some stuff. I would say that, yeah, I think the closest thing is definitely going to be for me is the Amazon one, especially. I'm trying to see a lot of these. I have to still like re-look at their quarterly reports because some were bad. Um, Lincoln Financial was awful. I was actually really disappointed in their earnings. Um, that's one I would have to completely redo. Um, Micron, I really like Micron. If it breaks down in the 40s again, that's one I like.
The interesting case right now is like, man, if inflation comes down in the sevens anywhere, if we read 7 point X whatever, right? The market's going to rally.
Yeah, it's supposed to rally about 1.5% if it get it reading in the sevens.
So
Which
buy
means that
now.
some stocks are going to rally 15, 20%,
They're going to pop
especially
off.
yeah, especially like your Palantirs and your SoFis. They'll rip up 15, 20% on good news.
We got time. I mean, there's what, 15 minutes.
Plenty of time.
There's plenty of
Are
time
you
out there.
are you playing the if you're playing the 8% reading, man, you better be like buying some puts on the market right now. I mean, dude, that could cause 8% reading could cause dude, that could cause a fire sell.
Look, I really, I will set the alarm bells off. I think 8%. Like I really I'm not I don't foresee anything in the sevens. And this
I
happened
think
last month.
I think that's wild that you don't think we're going to get into the sevens because you telling me that, and I think you're very educated and I think you make good analysis. That tells me that we are in some serious trouble, dude. Like I'm not even trying to
Look,
like
there's more than what meets the eye, and that's again like I'm a huge economics guy. Like I'm constantly sifting through economic information, and I just think that we have a lot of hope and optimism in the stock market, and walking down the street of realistic expectations, not a whole lot has changed in our economic backdrop.
well, that's my argument, Ari. Like that
This is why I'm saying 8%, man.
but like why are you so okay, so I'm going to call you out then.
I'm
Why are you
excited. I'm
No, I
excited
know.
to buy
But
when I get an opportunity.
why are you so excited to buy now when like we still got some more downside?
Look, I dollar cost average, right? So
No, no, I time the market. No, I'm just joking. No, but I'm just saying like
no,
I'm saying out loud like I'm telling you like
yeah,
asking you a
you're
question.
saying why am I saying buy when I'm projecting 8% inflation?
Right.
I'm just here on the channel and having some fun. I'm saying I want to see Colton doing some buying and just just waving cash, man.
You can see me buying at a poker tournament in Vegas if you want.
You better film it. I mean, look,
I
I'm
I
just
actually
trying to
might film.
spark. I'm just trying to spark some commotion between you and your fiance. You got Disney stock going. I
Trying to
don't know what
cause
else
a
you
you're
guys
trying to cause
argue
a
about.
domestic you're trying to cause a domestic violence in the comforts of my own home.
Man gets arrested. Florida man gets arrested tonight after
Talking talking crap about Disney. Wife attacks husband talking crap about Disney. So, I mean,
Look,
the market the market's looking like it wants to head back down though. I mean, so
the only reason I say you might want to nibble at some stocks today if they're at right buy-in prices is just because I'm not Nostradamus. I don't know, right? I can't predict it. Last month we're sitting here and everyone, economists across the board are saying inflation was going to come down to 8.1, right? 8.1, and it came in at 8.2. right? So
Yeah.
it's
I'm gonna guess the 7-9. I think we just get below 8. I think. I
I
think
think
they.
I think there's a possibility, but I'm leaning towards 8.
I
But
mean,
I'm like much more tilted towards 8.
so
And
I'm gonna
look,
tell
at the
you
end of
right
the day,
now,
like
this
it
chart,
is
the
progress.
chart right now is set up to go. The chart right now is set up to go low. Like I'm telling you right now, this chart is disgusting. The sell off today, we just broke a major level of support at 380. Okay, that's been like 380's kind of been the line in the sand for the Bulls and the Bears. So we're at 373 right now. So we're a few percentage points below 380, and it's setting up to me on the charts. It's setting up to go down a few percentage points tomorrow would be my guess. Um, that's just looking at the chart. Now, obviously, Catalyst can rip that right back around. If we had no news tomorrow, I would say that we go down to, like, if it was just another trading day tomorrow, I'd say we would go down to roughly 370. So I'd say we would trade flat most of the day and go down about 1%. Now, depending on the Catalyst, could be interesting because the setup to me looks like it wants to go an additional few percentage points down before we find a kind of an oversold position.
This, this is look, it's a big day tomorrow. I'm excited. No matter what happens, I'm excited because I'm long on my investments. Um, and I'm gonna be
Let's ask people in the chat what their largest holding is and what stock they want to buy now. So we got a few people still in here. Okay. The bell's going to ring in 10 minutes. So if you could buy any stock at the price that it's sitting at right now, okay, right now, what stock would it be and what is your largest holding? So I'm curious to see those two kind of pop up. So obviously you all know that my largest holding is Gilead Science, and then I would be buying Amazon pretty much at these levels. What about you, Ari? Your largest holding is Apple, and you would be
Apple
buying. You said you would be buying what?
tomorrow.
Yeah, if you could buy any stock right now at today's price, what would it be?
Today's probably Google.
You got to stop with that Google, man.
No, I look. I
Buy
got
yourself,
I
buy
40 to
yourself some
50
Tyson.
shares now.
How many shares?
40 to 50.
That's a pretty good. That's a pretty good holding.
And that's just been dollar like 10, 10, just because I'm, watching it and I'm like, I like it here. I like it at this price. You ever see Peter Lynch's video where he's like, if I liked it at, 105, I'd
Oh,
like it at 100.
if I like it at 100, I like it even more at 50. Yeah,
Yeah, that's me.
yeah,
That's been me with Google. I'm like, I like that at this price. I like it at this one. I like it.
yeah.
I just keep buying. So, but I'm dollar cost averaging, 10, 10s, 10s.
Yeah, I think Amazon would be in the wheelhouse for me right here, like in that $80 range, like like I showed you. It's actually pretty much on it right now. But now that I think more about the backdrop, though, I'm leaning more towards if Tyson. So here's the thing: if Tyson gets down to that $60 range, I'd be adding Tyson, and if Amazon gets down to the $80 range, I'm at Amazon, and Amazon only needs to fall another few percentage points for me to really start buying. So it's going to be interesting tomorrow because I could be buying both Tyson and Amazon tomorrow.
Tyson.
Depending, but like, do you wait that extra day and
Look,
wait
that's
for
the risk that you take, right? If it comes in at 7.8, 7.9 and the market runs, maybe you miss an opportunity. Maybe you
it's
don't.
not a
Maybe
risk anymore. I think like a lot of stocks are already de-risked at these levels. Like, I mean, like, could they fall another 15 or 20%? I think so. It's hard to say. Like, if we go into a depression, like if we get that 8% reading you're talking about, I'm freaking scared. Okay. Cause I'm talking like, I would
I'm
not
not
be,
sweating anything. Look, if we get 8% and the market dips, I mean, I'll buy all day long.
we get 8%, man. I don't know, man. I'm probably like,
Did we get
I'm
any
probably,
answers or what? Who's
yeah.
buying?
We got one person that responded. What is up with these people? Guys, come
Jason
on.
Phillips.
Come on now. We got Jason with a tie
Baba
between
and
Baba
Meta.
and Meta.
My man.
His largest holding Starbucks. Dude, that's a nice setup. That is a nice setup.
I like
So
that his
Jake,
largest holdings are Starbucks and Johnson and Johnson. We go hand in hand, man.
so not financial advice, what would I recommend here? You got healthcare, you got consumer discretion, and then it would be technically communication with Meta. Um, I think, dude, I honestly think like if Meta gets back down to that lower level again, I think that's a nice little setup. You build in a nice little portfolio there. I like it. Jason, I like it.
You're a fan of Meta, man, and look,
I'm
we
a fan.
talked about last time potential there.
I'm a fan of the risk versus reward, but my price target on Meta is now at $77.
Get hit. This is one I'm confident get hit.
I had some guy on my channel, and I looked him up. He's actually a doctor, and he created a finance channel. And he said, "Laugh
I
out
think
loud."
I know him.
I don't know who he is, but I went on his
And
channel.
he has his own channel, right? He's got a dividend channel,
No, he doesn't have anything up yet, but he talks about being a world-renowned doctor, and now he wants to help people with their finances. And
Tom Nash.
I think Tom Nash was a brain surgeon, right? Was it a brain surgeon or I don't know. I have to double check.
Tommy Nash, man.
But you know what's funny? You know what's funny about that? A world-renowned doctor. Guess what some of my biggest clients were that did not understand that I had to teach finance to?
Doctors.
Well,
it makes sense, man. They don't have time.
Well, they also make bad investments, and here's why. Doctors are and the one that I'm talking about is not like this, but the other ones that I've met, they think that they know everything. And one doctor or this group of doctors went into a fund and bought real estate. And I was attached to a real estate firm for a little while. And boy, did they F up big time. He lost millions with this group of people, and they were all doctors. And that's when I learned like how little they actually know.
You know, you can't. That's just what it is. I mean, you can keep it as simple as index funds, and that's it.
That's
like,
that's what we opened up with, right? I mean, you don't need anybody. Now, if you want to buy individual stocks, you better know what you're doing, and you better be ready to be active, because individual stocks, like, they change very quick. Management changes, logistics change, people stop buying their products. Recalls, like Johnson & Johnson had all that kind of stuff happen. Remember that's when the price, but it's like you have to be ready to manage.
Out under the bus J&J, right? That is a phenomenal investment.
Well, you have to be ready to manage those risks. So it's like, okay, so you got J&J at 170. Let's just say all of a sudden J&J has massive recalls. Do you sell the stock? Do you buy puts? Like, you got to hedge it. Like, if you're an active person, or do you wait and you buy more on the dip? Like, so when you only have 10, 11 positions, unless if they're extremely like stable. But once again, Ari, like General Electric and AT&T were the most stable companies in the world like 40 years ago. Look at where they are now.
Yeah,
and that's why
there's a right time, and if you're watching trends, it's all about trends and patterns. And of course, you need to be active. Your head needs to be in the game in terms of understanding the environment, right? The investor's environment of how to invest, right? It's like right now, right? You're going to invest a little bit differently right now than you would have been, 5 years, 10 years ago. The whole environment has changed. And that's what you're looking out for. But for example, the Bill Ackman approach that I admire is like his, I think he has 7 right now positions. And while, yes, they could be more volatile, right? Because there's only 7 positions.
Well, you got the upside as well.
Stable companies.
Yeah, you got the upside as well, though. It's like it's the double sword, the more risk, more reward, and it's like the more concentrated you are, the more volatile your portfolio is going to be, and
man,
that's just
I'm I mean, I don't even say it as a joke. I'm building back better.
No, I think you should be
the name of the game, right?
I think in this market, it makes more sense to be concentrated. I really do. Like, I think it makes a lot more sense to be concentrated in this market.
Yeah.
But that's me personally. But that's, that also takes into consideration that you you can't have a 9 to 5. Like, I mean, you can have a 9 to 5, but you got to be able to like manage your portfolio 24/7 if you're very concentrated. Like, that's no joke, you
Look,
know?
this is the big game plan. This is it. 6 to 7 months. A focus on growing the channel, because I've never actually focused on just growing the channel. From there, the travel game is on, man. I mean, I'm just ripping through countries, and it's travel and enjoying. And this portfolio that I have, thanks to the passivity of it, right, is I get to enjoy not having to worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, the other thing is we go through a major market crash, right? And you're building your concentrated position here, right? And you're saying like,
I
you
want to
got
buy
your top.
50 more shares of Johnson and Johnson. Am I going to buy 50 more shares at $170 per share? Absolutely not. If
No,
we
wait
get
for
a
that
market
8%. You just got to wait for that 8% reading, and you'll be able to get you'll be able to get them at about 110.
now, check this out. Inflation comes in at 8%. Johnson and Johnson's going to go up a tad more.
Yeah. So we got to close at on the SPY at 7. It's at 374. So
Done. Market is done. I didn't even get to buy.
closed it out. But
Look,
no, I was gonna say if you're concentrated in 10 stocks, right, and you get that massive market pullback, the best thing to do is buy like an emerging market ETF, or buy something that's like antagonistic of your portfolio if we get a huge pullback, you know. So that way there, like if emerging markets outperform, it's offsetting kind of the volatility on the other 10 stocks that you own. So
look, man, I'm ready for tomorrow. Bloody day. Hopefully it is.
by the way, like, don't you think emerging markets are going to outperform over the next 10
I
years?
think they'll be strong. I think they'll be strong. Absolutely.
Like, hold on a second here. Let me
But look,
just.
I think, it's hard to say, right? When we'll kind of get back to some sort of normalization. But I think when we do hit normalization, emerging markets will fly. U.S. markets are going to, I mean, dude, across the board, I think there's going to be a heyday for several days in the market.
So, like, this is a 20-year chart on emerging markets. And, EEM, right? That's emerging markets, I believe, right? BlackRock emerging markets. I think, yeah. So currently, emerging markets are sitting at $35.85. And you can go back, shit, man, you can go back 18 years and it was a $54, it was a $54 ETF. Emerging markets are an interesting play if the dollar weakens.
There's so many variables. I think what needs to happen is the elimination right now of variables
Yeah,
before
I
I
mean,
can get comfortable moving in a direction of emerging markets and shifting, at least how I invest.
there are a ton of we got to call out for Digital Realty. I would have to actually dive into the quarterly report.
I think Digital Realty is it's a sound company. I'm not too right now. I don't the valuations and whatnot.
It's at a 52-week low right now.
Yeah, but
So
that
you
doesn't.
figure 155, 310, 450, 610, 610. Trailing PE is fairly low on it.
What is it?
It's like about a 12 or 13, I think, trailing PE, I believe. I'm just doing it in my head, but right now it's paying over what, a 5% dividend or 4.5% dividend. Let me pull it up.
It's a strong company. Look, it's the way
The
of
problem,
the future.
Was it the margins? Is it margin compression that they're dealing with, or like
I
competition?
don't know.
I feel
Honestly,
like they're dealing with something. hold on a second. Let me think. Hold on. Let me just take a look at this really quick. Because this is, I mean, it's at a 52-week low. It looks cheap, but that's deceiving. We all know that, right? I mean, thing has been pretty much cut in half.
You'd be happy to know that while I won't find myself in Tampa, I do. I did get a green light that somebody would move with me to Tampa.
Oh, really?
But
Well,
don't
that
worry,
might
we're
be,
not going to be there.
hey, that might be motivation in itself, man. Okay, so free cash flows steady at 1.7 billion. Looks like they're going to beat that on the trailing 12-month income statement. Top line revenue growth has been steady going up. I have to dive into their finances, but just from looking at here, it looks pretty cheap. Says the PE ratio is 19.88, but I think that says trailing 12-month, but I just calculated it way lower than that. So this is out. This is not up to date. Over a 5% yield. $28 billion market cap, and they're doing kind of trading a little rich from a free cash flow standpoint.
I can't even see the.
I'll make it a little bigger.
I feel like my window here is a little bit small. Like I'm on the screen with you, but
Can you see any of this?
I see it. It's just very small on my end. I think for the viewer out there, it's viewable. I can't. It for me, it's.
Let me see. So we'll call it a 30. Call it a 28 divided by 1.7. 16. I think it's fair. I think it's fair valued here, Charlie, from what I can see. I think it's fair value. I don't think it's I'd have to dig into the finances on it. How are you in a rush to get off? That sounded weird.
What if I?
It's like let's try it. All right, let's try to keep this PG, brother.
Man, I mean,
I'm not gonna help you with that. I'm not helping you
coffee
with
would
that.
be
I'm just
nice.
saying, like, if you know what I mean, like,
It's 11 o'clock where I'm at, man.
yeah. All right.
But look,
Well, I mean,
we can pop back on CPI day tomorrow
yeah, maybe I'll pop back on later on
for
tonight or
some
something.
live buying action.
I might pop back on tomorrow or something. Let me see. We got some questions. So guys, bring some questions through really quick. We're going to sign off here in a minute. So if anybody has any questions or comments or anything, concerns, or just what your thoughts are on CPI, let me just make this a little bit easier to see. Hold on one second. What a day those SQQ shares were.
Dark matter.
Yeah, actually, he asked, it was a few days ago. Dark Matter was like, he's taking the triple Q, he's doing the short triple Qs. And I was like, I kind of like it for the setup. I never have the guts to like stay in it for that long because just any piece of news can just rip through. But let me ask him. Dark Matter, are you holding for CPI reading tomorrow? That could be a friggin'
Too risky for me.
dude. That's nuts if he's holding for CPI tomorrow because like, wow, that would be some crazy stuff. Because if CPI comes in light, we're gonna rip. We're gonna rip back up to like 385. Yeah, he's been killing it because the SQs, I mean, that's triple leverage. So market's
300
down.
shares.
Yeah, he said no, too risky. He's selling 75%. Smart. Yeah, I mean, the market could absolutely rip up. Actually, I'm
Is that
curious. I'm curious to look at the 5-day chart on the triple Qs here. Hold on, let's pull it up.
We got anything else, or is it just dark matter?
Dark matter's the only one that cares about us, it looks like. Does anybody have, guys, if
I'm
anybody
gonna
has
get,
any questions, post them now because we're going to sign off here in a minute. So over the last few days,
is your fiance still in here?
um,
You get in trouble for being on these too late? I guess it's not late by you.
nah, I mean, dude, it's 4 o'clock. The market just closed. What time do you go to bed? What are you, 80? Come on now. No, I know.
I
Uh,
am in.
yeah, I mean, he probably made about 20%, 15-20% on them over the last few months, depending on where he entered. 15-20% gain in less than a month is a substantial gain in this market, man. So I don't know what I just clicked on, but we'll go back. So yeah, man, if you want to sign off, we'll sign off here. Guys, I guess we're gonna close it out. As always, we all appreciate your time.
Is your fiance, is she still there?
No, I can hear her walking around in the back. She's probably she could care less. She could care less. She got her Disney digging, and then that was it. So
I don't know. I don't know if I told you I came on this channel the last time and I had a successful date.
you did. Do you want to share that with everybody?
I think she's here now.
Is she's in here? These girls, girls are sneaky, bro. Like, I don't even know my girl's in here. Like,
I think she's in here right now. I think so.
These girls are sneaky, bro.
And if she is, I just want to say that I am a rich man because of you.
Wow.
That is all. I'm put that live and I can sign off a happy man.
Wow. Wait, we got some new comments here. Let me see. Oh no, it's just a thank you.
Dark matter.
Appreciate it, Dark Matter. The one guy that's in here actually participating. Actually, no, Phil, we had a couple. Mikal in the beginning, Jason, and then T Dynasty. That's it. Richard jumped on there. Richard jumped on there way early. I must have missed this one. Yeah.
The blue. Yeah, I'm back, baby. Put that back up. The blue line. Remember when the blue line was my name?
I'm gonna change my. Should I change my? Like, all right, guys, let's get some feedback
put
here.
In the comments.
Should put this in the name. Should I change my channel from Financially Fit to something else? Yes or no? And then what do you? I know.
Would you do your name, or is it a career misstep for you?
I wouldn't call it a career misstep.
Put your name, man.
Maybe I will.
I mean, at the end of the day, look, you're doing a great service, and so people still comment on my stuff, and the emails I get, Blue Lion still.
What would some other names be for the channel? I mean, I probably just use my name, but it's tough. I'd have to sit down and really think about it because I want it to mean something deep. And the whole reason why I did the Financially Fit was because the whole aspect of this channel was going to be a fitness and financial journey where I grow a brokerage account, go over individual stocks, go over workouts, and it turned into
and a six-pack.
Yeah, and it turned into
portfolios and six-packs.
It turned into I made a friggin' video on Tattooed Chef and then got monetized in a week, and then I was like, Tattooed Chef, and I'm like, wait a minute, I just turned into what I didn't want to turn into. And then I started to do reaction videos and making fun of Tom Nash and making fun of Jeremy, and I deleted all those videos because I don't want to be looked at as the guy that did that. I want to be organically grown and people actually listen to me because I have something intelligent to say, not because I'm shitting on somebody else, and while I don't agree with what they do, and I wish that my channel would blow up because I feel like the content is that much better. It might not be as well edited and that nature, but the actual content, is, I feel is better. Maybe I'm just being biased because I make my own content, but
Look, man, slowly but surely. That's what it comes down to. You know, and I think there's a shift, to be honest with you, that's happening on YouTube and in different platforms.
Jason participated today. I wish I could give out like little stickers that we used to get in
I
like
wish I
elementary.
knew. Can anybody respond in there?
Not,
Like,
I mean, we got people watching. It's just like nobody's wanting to.
nobody's actually.
We got like half people participate, the other half. Oh, Puzzle says he's too tired. He's just sitting back listening to all the content. At least I know you're in here, man. I appreciate it. What do you think? You think I should change it? Just change it to my name?
I think you should change it to your name, man. I made
Why?
the plunge. I took the
Okay,
plunge.
why though? Why?
Just look, at the end of the day, I figured I changed my name. It was Blue Lion Finance, and I worked in real estate at this point in time, and I didn't want my firm to really know I had this grandiose plan to build out a YouTube channel and kind of go travel them. You know, now I work in finance and economics. I'm like, why not?
Dude, Jason's gonna get hired, I think. Dude, I gotta grow my channel so I can bring Jason on. He's
That is
participating.
hilarious. To
Jason's
make Paul's head
participating. He's got a
explode.
good portfolio. All right, if I could bring two people on, it's gonna be Macau and Jason. These guys, like, we gotta blow this channel up. That way there I can hire these guys.
You should do it. Bring him on. Bring him on, man. It's all
And
about
then
the community.
we got because the algo don't care about your name. Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, if someone wants to find you, I wanted to change my name because it was like Blue Lion Finance, whatever. But if someone wanted to
Change
actually
it,
have a
call in the top.
conversation,
I did call the top almost to the friggin' day. Almost to the day I called the top of this market.
yeah, it
That's
wasn't a
funny.
volatile day though. Yeah,
Algo love your fine content. Yeah, I hope they do. It doesn't seem like they do. You know what's the craziest thing, dude? Like the video I put out today was the longest video that I edited, put music to, like in nothing. Nothing. And it's
I
a
love
topic
it.
that everybody's looking at. It was the FTX topic.
Oh, I didn't
Um,
see this one yet.
so I'm here. Oh, Anthony's in here. All right, that's cool.
Who else is here? This is great, man. I love running
Financially
through these.
Fit's not a bad name. Yeah, I mean, so the goal is Ari. So I got bigger plans for the financially fit aspect. It's going to get louder and prouder probably next year.
What
So
does that mean, man? That doesn't.
you're just going to have to tune in and see. But it's going to get louder and prouder next year. So
I look, man. I'm happy to be a part of the journey thus far. Look, I
yeah,
think there's a few channels right now, yours, mine, and a handful of others that I'm in touch with other content creators here. And I kind of see us all growing.
yeah,
We're all very focused and data driven, more insightful channels. And we've all been growing very slowly. But it wraps back to like people want to get rich by Tuesday.
yeah. It's the same principle. It's a
Yeah,
similar
same
principle.
thing.
Like you want
But
success overnight.
all of us has said the same thing, which is we'd rather have smaller channels and dish out legitimate financial, I don't want to say advice now, right? But information, and that's key. So stay the course.
I might puzzle literally just made my day. I actually might cut this out and hang it on my wall. Like seriously, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Puzzle
Yeah.
data.
Thank you. Yeah, that means the world to me, man. That means the world to me. It's like because people don't understand how so tell me, we'll go back and forth. How long does it take you to shoot, edit, research a video?
The
Like the
whole
whole
nine.
process.
Geez, that's research actually takes a hefty amount of time because obviously I'm going to pour in majority amount of my time. It goes into the research. The filming for me, maybe an hour, the whole setup of filming and everything. Then it's the editing that goes into it, which is another large chunk of time. I'd probably say like of 8 or 9 hours that's cut up between like 2, 3 days.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
look, I have a full-time job. On
Yeah.
top of that, I'm doing other things outside of work. And then on top of that, I didn't have before, but now I'm kind of seeing somebody, right? So it's like you
Yeah.
got to,
You only
you
have
can't,
so much time in the day to invest in certain aspects.
yeah, my
Like
buddy at
doing,
work, I was doing shorts videos
I saw you.
for
You've been blasting out the shorts. You've been blasting
every
out the
morning. I
shorts.
was like,
Are you
boom,
getting
boom, boom,
traction?
boom.
Are you getting traction with the shorts?
I was getting some traction. And then what happened was I started seeing somebody and I was like, well, the shorts can go. It's like
Yeah. It's like only so.
those are gone.
Um. Oh, Jason would be down to make an appearance. He said, but he's I don't want to take this comment off. I'm keeping this comment up.
Change the comment.
Uh, all right,
What do we
let's
got?
see. I'd be down to make an appearance, but my work schedule is stupid, busy. Well, Jason, if you get some
You got
time off,
you got
man.
nice you got nice subscribers. You got nice fans, man.
Well, it's like the original. Here's the problem, Ari. The original fan, and I think I told you this, like the original fans that I got, I appreciate, like no questions asked. Like, but it was a different me than like what they got was me having fun, and it just was a sporadic blow up of a channel. Like where like my whole passion is I love looking at the stock market every day. I love looking at earnings. I love looking at what's dropping. I love disconnects. I love data. And I want to turn that into something where it's a career. And I use YouTube to kind of do that. And I
Yeah,
actually
here,
was go ahead.
7 months from now. This is a bold statement. In 7 months from now, with full focus on a channel, I mean, we'll just go at it, you and your channel and me and mine, build them out. 10,000 plus subscribers.
I mean, dude, it's weird. It's like one video could just go.
Well,
So the video that I did on Tattooed Chef, right? No joke. I think the video I did on Tattooed Chef got me like 1,800 subscribers in like 7 months or 8 months.
yeah, I had a similar video.
Yeah. So here it is right here. Like, started watching me eat Tattooed Chef because like I would go to the store, look for their products, and be like, give a grade on it. And then I would go through their financial statements and be like, this is not looking too good. I'm bailing, like I kind of like U-turned on the stock because it just, dude, the margins
Well,
were so bad.
this is something I think is beautiful, man. I this gentleman started watching you eat Tattooed Chef, and he's still with you, and that speaks volumes to the content that you're creating. So, keep at your course and keep moving forward. That's it.
Yeah.
You're not, the content that you're dishing out is not popular because people want to get rich by Tuesday, and that's just not how the game works.
Yeah. No, I
That is
agree.
why a guy like Tom Nash every other day, or what's her name, talking about these
She
bogus
if
stocks.
she is growing subscribers after what has happened with the debacle of FTX, I'm
I bet
probably
you she has a video coming out.
I'm probably driving off a bridge. Like literally. I don't get it. Yeah, so Puzzle saw me eat pizza. Yeah, so like, dude, honestly, they do have so the company. Here's the whole thing about Tattoo Chef. Not that you really give a crap, but I'm just gonna run you through it because it's what made my channel. So whoever's a Tattoo Chef fan in here, eat it up. No pun intended. So they have like their products I liked because they were low calorie, high protein, and fairly clean overall when you consider frozen food, right? Price points were in the middle. They weren't cheap and they weren't like super expensive. And so I'm like, I'm investing in this company. Their products are pretty good. They got about 4 products that I would say are phenomenal. And I would say that 3 or 4 that are good. and that's all that they should do. But what they try to do is they expanded their product line to like 60 products, bro, that are just like they're spending when they should have just focused on four different products where they were just crushing it and just dominate those products first. And what they did is I think they just spread themselves too thin, and obviously margins and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so anyway, long story short, I read the financial statements as I'm eating the food, and it was like entertaining, I think, for most parts, because people in other countries can't get access to it. So they were watching to like, what are my thoughts? And started reading their financial statements as I'm eating. And I'm like, guys, like, I'm sorry, like this is not, the company's not doing good things here. Like they were doing stock-based compensation to people that were on for a month, like heavy stock-based compensation. That was a red flag. Margins were not going in the direction that they said they were going, because they said they're vertically integrated. Margins should be expanding. They were decreasing. They were burning capital. I'm like, guys, not looking good. I'm out. Food by itself is a very thin margin industry. And then you
Right.
factor in, possibly going into a recession. Are people going to be paying $5, $6 for one frozen food meal? I don't think so. So for me, like I let everybody know this. Like I let everybody know this. And that's all it was. But what's your thoughts on that?
Is it fiance in there?
I heard her come in the back. I think she just left. She darted out. She's like, I can't believe they're still on the live stream for friggin' 2 hours. So
it's funny when we did the last one. I'm very fortunate that is she there?
no. Oh, are you gonna talk trash or something?
I'm waiting for her to leave, man.
Dude, she'll kick your ass, dude. She'll kick your ass.
No, look, man, I had a message exchange with the date that I had, and then because I shared that I was going to be on the live stream with you, and 2 hours later we were still on the live stream, and she texted me back. She goes, "You guys are still on that?"
Yeah, right. I know. I didn't think
you.
Okay, so just so everybody knows, but look, people are getting out of work now. People are actually having access. Like, so I understand. Like, that's why I try to like push them off. But like, just so people know, okay, Ari talks me into going on these live streams, and he's like, "Listen, man, 20 minutes. I just need 20 minutes to talk about CPI." And I'm like, "Are you sure, man? Because I got a lot on my plate right now. Are you sure it's only going to be 20 minutes?" And then it turns into 2 hours. But I think what happens is,
guy, man,
what I think what happens is like the conversation can go any direction, but I think it's like good, healthy conversation and people getting their ideas out there, and like, and being able to like actually get our opinions and go back and forth. You get that interaction that you normally wouldn't get, obviously, if I just post a video, because a video can be interpreted many different ways, right? I remember doing a video on AT&T and some guy took it like the complete wrong way, that I was like crapping on AT&T. Like, I'm like, whoa, man, whoa. Like, I'm just talking about their debt. Like, it was just like, he's like, I'll sit here. I forgot what he said. He's like,
AT&T has very loyal shareholders.
Oh, bro, it was like, dude, you thought I talked bad about his girlfriend or something. I'm like, whoa, dude, relax. But I was like, I gave like a $15 price target on AT&T, and it was like at,
man,
it was at like 18.
You see where it is right now?
No,
I think it's at like $17 or something.
But I think it hit the 15 mark. I think it hit 14 or $15. And it was like around $18. And the guy was like, I'll sit here and collect my 6% dividend. And I was like, that's what you should do. Like, I'm not talking trash about the company. And then I wanted to respond, dude, when it hit $14, I wanted to reply and be like, oh, I just collected a 10% dividend because I hit my price target, you asshole. Like, but I was just like, I'm gonna let it go, like. So
look, I've had those moments where I've said, I think I said something about J&J. That's, I popped on somebody's live stream and we're talking about J&J, and I love J&J, so I talk about J&J. And somebody starts writing in the comments like, J&J sucks, worst stock, never, but why would you buy that right now?
Yeah.
And I think we talked about this last time. Fast forward 6 months, I'm like, J&J is doing phenomenally well. I'm not worried at all. And thank God I bought.
Dude, are you getting some, hold on a second.
Is she not the most like?
Wait,
I mean,
I just want to I want to clarify something. This is my channel. Are those
this
hearts for me?
this is for me.
I'm just joking. I'm
Am
just
I not the
joking.
wealthiest
Yeah,
man you've ever seen?
dude, she doubled it up. She doubled it up.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Yeah, she is. She's very attractive. You're very lucky. I don't know
Thank
how
you.
you did that one, Ari. Lord
Thank
knows,
you.
man. God
Thank you.
bless you.
Don't say Johnson.
Go play Powerball. It looks like you got some luck on your side. Yeah, help grow a strong community. That's what we want. Consistency is key, but it's just like, man, it's just so frustrating. It's just so frustrating that, like, do you ever watch Jeremy Financial? Like, and I don't want to dog on the guy, but I'm probably going to dog on him right now.
I just saw him today. I commented on his channel that everything he said was
Why
crap
do you comment on his channel, dude?
because I want people to see and understand that what he's saying.
All
Thank
right,
you
you
so
are
much,
blessed.
Dark Matter. I am.
Dark
I am.
Matter is saying because you met me and I'm leading you down a financial freedom road, and
Fitness to
that's
a
why
six
you're
pack,
blessed.
and a beautiful portfolio.
That's it, man. Best of both worlds.
That is
Honestly, dude.
exactly how I landed the date, and that is exactly. If it were not for Colton and financially fit, I would not have what I have in my life.
I unfortunately yeah, I'm more of the charismatic, like when I really like something, I'm gonna go get it. So
Me
it's not
too.
always it's not the looks that do it for me. It's I'm very competitive. Like
Me
that's what
too.
does it for me. Yeah. I'm like,
Exactly.
nah, you don't want that guy. You want this guy. Yeah, he might be better looking, but I'm better. Like it's that whole
Yeah, yeah, I get it, man. I get it. We're one of the same.
I make fun of myself a lot too. And I think I don't take myself too serious. And I think that's important.
Yeah, for sure, man. Investing advice. You're hearing it here first.
Okay, so let me give you a little what I get upset about. Okay. Hey folks, welcome in. We got a lot to talk about today. And then he shrinks his screen down and he goes over and he's basically just saying, holy smokers, the market was up, the market was down, and he just gives you news and there's no like forward outlook, there's no projections, there's no breaking down the fundamentals. It's so surface level stuff, and he gets tremendous amounts of views for it, which is fine. I don't understand how. Like I watch it and I'm like, I don't think this is entertaining. I'm not getting anything from it, and I'm just wondering like are like I'm not trying to be ignorant right now, guys. Everybody that's in here, okay? I'm not trying to be ignorant. I'm going to be completely honest. Do we speak too high level to get views?
Me and you.
Like me doing a discounted cash flow calculator and breaking down margins and talking about economic backdrops and talking about interest rates and how you have to contract multiples during interest rate. Like never heard any of that stuff come out of Jeremy's mouth. And I'm like, should I like my fiance thinks I should dumb it down because she's like, if I came across your channel, I really wouldn't know where to start. And so I'm
Mm.
like, is that the problem? Like, is that the problem? But then it becomes like the people that are really,
Here's the thing, man. Women are incredibly smart, and I would you should take your suggestion and see how it works.
but it's like, then it's like, I'm scared I'm
It,
going to
does,
lose.
it doesn't mean that you lose, right? Like subscribers and a community. It means that you welcome more people in, right? And then you can go into more in-depth detail later on in the video. But to dumb something down, keep it Sesame Street stupid. I mean, that's really what she's saying to do, because you went on this first date with her and came at her with a bunch of numbers on Disney stock, and man, she just wants to buy Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't either. I mean,
One of the best financial guys that I watch had 40,000 subscribers and super sophisticated, 10 times smarter than me, we have contrasting opinions. He doesn't believe we're in a recession. I do. I was obviously right, but he's way smarter than I am, and I would listen to him because I want that other side. Not because it's an ego thing. I'm right, he's wrong. It's like I actually want to hear the bull case, because I want to be open to the fact that I'm wrong. Therefore, if I see something, I can maneuver. And I trusted this guy's opinion because I think he is on top of the data and he's just awesome. But yeah. Yeah.
Look, again, this goes hand in hand with what I'm saying. You can produce content of value. You can keep it Sesame Street stupid on top of going deeper into detail.
Yeah.
You can have it all. You can do it all. I think if you're, you got to think about who's out there, who you're talking to, and that's something that I've taken consideration. That's why you see a lot on my channel me explaining a company.
Yeah.
I don't need to do that, right? It's like but if you're an investor, you know what X company does and what Y company is doing, But most people on YouTube, I felt and still feel are like, best stocks to buy now. And usually someone who's asking that question, 5 best stocks to buy now, probably needs some direction when it comes to investing in what the company is and what they do. I took a gentle approach and just kind of like, hey, you might want to take a look at this.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
so it's funny because when I meet people in public, I'm able to communicate better than I am, I guess, on YouTube. I think I'm missing something on YouTube that I'm able to do in person that I can't do on YouTube yet. Like, and maybe that just comes with time. But it's like I'll meet somebody in public and talk finance, and they're just like they're mind blown. Like they're like, I
well,
never
look,
really.
it's a conversation though, right? Like they're giving you. And now this is all the sales, right? The art of sales. It's like somebody is going to, you probably know this, someone's going to give you everything you need to know. And if you're a wise salesman, you don't say a word.
Yeah,
You listen and you repackage what they're telling you in exactly how they shared it to you.
yeah,
Right. And
yeah,
that's what's happening in a conversation. You're listening and then you're sharing, and then they're saying, wow, that's amazing. Yes, I'll buy.
yeah,
And so you think
yeah,
about those conversations, and on YouTube, what makes it harder is like there is no conversation. This is like just purely your thought, and you're looking at yourself on the camera, or you're just looking at the back of the camera, whatever it may have you, and you're talking, and it makes it's. I mean, sometimes you're just sitting there like, what am I doing? What am I
it's
saying?
the interpretation too. Like that's the other thing that goes wrong with videos. Sometimes I'll make a video and I'll see the comments. I'm like, wow, they're really interpreting this the wrong way. Like, and that's my fault. Like that happens. Like, I'm like, holy crap. Like, I didn't even think about it like that. Like you're like, I like the
Yeah.
company. I didn't mean it like that. Like the AT&T example is a great one, but there's been tons that I'm like, oh shoot, like that's not what I meant. Like, yeah, I've been a big, skeptic on Neo, and I like the company, but I just thought there was so much problems that could come. And like, and am I surprised it's at $10 now? I called it like when it was at 30 and people thought I was an idiot, you know?
Well,
Um,
that's the other thing. You got to give it time. Like that's what I've learned on YouTube is like you just got to give time, allow time to do its thing. Like when I am taking a look at the market and assessing right the macro environment and how stocks are looking today, and then I'm like, where will it be in a week from now? I think there's a lot of schmucks on YouTube who are like, where's the market today and where's it going to be in an hour from now?
yeah. Well, so you're hitting on what we talked about, unrealistic expectations because of this bull market we've been in and the amount of stimulus that's hit, right? We're talking about asset prices that hit rock bottom during the pandemic, and I'm trying to think of like a good example. Almost any stock you can think of, the airlines, right? The airlines, like, that's a good example. Or, dude, I'm trying to think like something that like quadrupled in price, because we were in a pandemic and everybody sold everything. And it was like, a stock hit $4 and then went back up to 12 and they made 300%. And they think that's normal. Like, new
Yeah.
investors think that's normal, and unfortunately, it's not. Like, if you are able to get 8 to 10% annually in your portfolio, you're doing a good job. Like, and now we've created a
Very
monster.
the market typically returns. I mean, it's average 7%, right, a
But
year.
let's but
So
let's but let's think about what's happening here, though. I want to take this really quick. You know what I'm talking about, right? If you went heavy into the dip in the pandemic dip, right? Target, I think Target went to like $60. It went up all the way up to 180, right? It's 3x your money in Target, right? In 18 months, you 3x your money. What's happening now is people are not 3xing their money. They're getting negative returns. So what are they doing, Ari? They're using leverage and they're doing more risky type stuff, whether it's options or whether it's, whatever. But we're starting to see that behavior of impatience, of a very similar behavior to the dot-com bubble that I talk about, where it's that greed factor that's leading people to do irrational things and buy companies instead of waiting for Palantir to be free cash flow, instead of waiting for Tattooed Chef to be free cash flow. They're buying it now when it's
yeah,
could go bankrupt. When the this is
it's
the
look,
you,
it's
you know it's
emotional investing. What I say.
yeah, and it's like, and these companies, like, don't get me wrong, I'm willing to speculate on Palantir and a lot of these other companies. And but it's a very small percentage. Like, I would put a company like Palantir, I don't think is going to go anywhere. The problem with Palantir is the valuation and how much more are they going to keep. There's a lot of questions. The actual business is good if you can put it in perspective. Like these growth rates that they gave of 35%, people forget, like they've been around for 30 plus, they've been around for an extended period of time, and they were given 30 plus percent gains on their models. And I'm just like, why? It's,
Sure.
and so like if you put 15 or 20% gains, then you arrive at a realistic price for this company and you say, hold on a second, $6-7 makes a lot of sense for this company now. And if it does do 30%, well, then you just built that margin of safety in there,
Yeah.
um,
Sure.
dark matter trying to get, man, I'd be thrilled to have 10K, bro. Be thrilled to have 10K. But it's not just the 10K, it's the quality, right?
Quality
Ari,
over quantity, man.
are you texting your girl over there, man?
You don't
It's
know what
about
I'm
the
up
I
to.
you're ready for bed, dude. You look like you're gonna pass out. You want to end it here?
Right, I'm still catching up with speed. 22 minutes behind. It's great. I mean, look, I'm glad we could just pop on here and talk about really whatever.
Yeah. I mean, and I think like, people are participating, asking questions, and I think it's like awesome. But yeah.
Look, man, tomorrow's a new day. We'll jump back, right? If some live buying opportunities happen, I gotta call. I gotta call somebody.
You calling your mom? Calling your mom?
No,
Didn't I tell you, I'm not gonna help you get off too fast here.
no. Look, man, I'm wealthy. I take, in terms of my portfolio, amazing, beautiful, whatever. But it's this one. Why I'm a rich man today. So I gotta give her a call, and we'll
They
jump
say
back on.
your network is your net worth. You ever hear
Oh, it
that?
is. It is, man.
Have you ever heard that?
Absolutely. I can attest. Of course, of course.
Yeah.
Good old days.
Your network is your net worth. So I tend to believe that.
Oh, you are your 5 closest, friends or those who surround you. I mean, it's what it comes down to.
Well, think about this, right? You can
You're
go
not
back
locking
to
me in on this. You're not locking me in for another.
think about this for the next hour. Now, hold on a second. But like seriously, if you can go back
Your
to
fiance
17,
left,
you
man.
can go back to 17 years old, right? You can go back to 17 years old and surround yourself with 4 people that understand investing and understand stocks. Where the hell would you be
I
today?
knew. I knew you're gonna ask. I knew you're gonna ask something like this. Look,
Dropping the mic. I'm dropping the mic on that one. All right, guys, I think we're gonna sign off, but do you have any last words?
my last words are: stay tuned for tomorrow. Live buying. Live buying. If the market is in red, I will do it. I have $5,000. I'll play around with tomorrow.
Wow, you just play
Should the
around with
market
five
be in
grand.
red? Huh?
You just play around with 5 grand like that.
Yeah.
You know what
I'm
I wish?
gambling.
I wish that these eToro, like, you know how eToro, do you know how eToro works? You could use eToro, I think, because you're out of country.
I'm not. How does it work?
So eToro is similar to what you get a following, right? And people copy your portfolio. It's essentially management
Hmm.
without a license, which I'm like, holy
You
crap,
can do
like
that.
talk about killing the advisory business, because what you can do is you can search for people portfolios that are outperforming, and you
Well,
can
that's like
copy.
going on the tip ranks and seeing somebody's smart portfolio.
Dude, you're gonna have to walk me through. You're gonna have to walk me through tip ranks one day, all of it, because I only use probably like the bare minimum. I need to start digging into it a little bit
Oh
more. And
yeah,
by
man,
the
you
way,
can
guys,
build your entire
get your
portfolio.
10%. Get your 10%. Click the link in the description. Get your 10% off of tip ranks. Let's go.
Best tools that you can
No, it
utilize
is.
as
I
an
actually
investor.
I like a lot of the stuff on there. I use them. I use them frequently, so I appreciate that. But yeah, if I'll let you sign off here.
Thanks, man. Guys, stay tuned. Tomorrow we have live trading should the market go red. And that's it. That's it for me.
All right, man. Very excited to see CPI tomorrow. Dark Matter, appreciate all the kind words. Charlie, appreciate all the kind words. Jason, um, puzzle. I might have to hang up your your uh your quote here. I might have to figure a way to cut that out. Actually, let me screenshot that really quick.
All right. Oh man.
Let me see. I'm gonna just focus on that one screenshot. All right, I screenshot it. So that's gonna be my motivation to keep up good content. And as always, guys, appreciate your time. Thank you so much for spending it with me and Ari. We will see you next time, investors. Peace.
Thank you guys.